been several years since I played Annie here on Broadway. Annie hasn't changed a bit, and neither has my friend the dog who played Sandy. But I sure have. This is me, 13 years old, in Annie, where I sang, "The sun will come out tomorrow." Well, I'm 17 now, and as you can see, about 5 inches taller. My friend there, well, he stayed just about the same since those days. But the girls in the cast kept getting too big for their costumes and having to be replaced. You can imagine that growing up on Broadway was a milestone in all our lives, and that's what I'd like to talk to you about. Growing up and reaching an important milestone in your life, when you begin to notice changes taking place within yourself and your body. Come on, boy. Heel. You know how they say in show business, you gotta have heart? Well, it's true. You see all those people walking down Broadway? Check out any one of them and you'll find a heart inside, beating away 70 times a minute, 24 hours a day, year after year. Well, a heart's not all there is inside of us. There's a lot of other things that don't get sung about as much. You gotta have lungs to breathe with. What's that? No, they don't have tails. Besides, I'm thinking about the more basic things right now, like, for instance, a liver to help you process your food. Every human being, young or old, has one. But wait a minute. Here's something that everyone doesn't have. Only people lucky enough to be females have these. Organs that make it possible for them to have babies. You're born with these organs, but until you're about 9 to 16 years old, they don't do much. Then they become active as certain changes begin to take place in your body.
You'll notice a soft growth of hair appearing under your arms and in the pubic area between your legs. This is true for boys as well as girls. Girls' hips will fill out, breasts begin to become rounder and fuller, and they'll begin to menstruate. All girls are born with a special place in their bodies where babies can grow, called the uterus. It's in the lower abdomen, below your stomach. As a girl matures, a special lining of blood and tissue forms in the uterus each month, making a soft, nutritious place for a baby to grow. If a baby is not conceived, the velvety lining isn't needed, and so it's released and gently flows out of the body through the vagina, the passage from the uterus to the outside of the body, between your legs. That is menstruation. Every girl has 2 ovaries containing thousands of microscopic egg cells that are smaller than the size of a pinhead. About once a month, one of these tiny cells matures and is released from one of the ovaries. It enters the fallopian tube and travels slowly to the uterus. We've greatly enlarged the size of the egg cell here, so you can see it. If the cell reaches the uterus without having been fertilized by a male sperm cell, the egg and the special lining built up in the uterus are released and flow through the vaginal canal out of the body. The actual flow is minimal, usually 2 to 4 ounces, or about 1/4 to 1/2 cup, over a 3 to 8 day time period. That's not very much when you consider that there are at least 120 ounces of blood in your body, and your body keeps on making new blood. This time in the menstrual cycle is often called the period. Then the process begins all over again, repeating itself month after month.
Show over the years.
Hi, I'm Dara, and I played the part of July and understudied the part of Annie in the First National Company.
Hi, I'm April, and I played the role of Kate in the movie.
Hi, I'm Diana, and I played the part of Tessie in the original Broadway company.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I played the part of Tessie in the Third National Tour.
Hi, I'm Alice, and I played the part of Annie on Broadway. Hi, I'm Kay, and I played the part of Tessie on Broadway.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I played the role of Pepper in the Second National Company.
We had a lot of fun backstage in those days when we were 11 or 12 or 13. Yeah. We used to play jacks a lot, and cards, and backgammon with the stagehands, homework. But the one thing we dreaded was the height marker. Da-da-da-da. Stage manager put the mark up, and every 3 months, each of us had to stand up to the mark to see how much we'd grown. When you hit the top mark, sorry, Charlie, 1 month's notice and your days in the play were over. At first, it hurt to get fired. I thought I was all washed up at 14. But then we all realized that there are advantages to growing up, too.
I got many more privileges.
You can stay up later.
There's high school. You can drive.
Yeah.
And the first sign that you're really getting there is when you first start having your period.
Yeah.
Well, I got mine when I was 12, around 4 months ago.
I was about 16. I was about 14 and a half. And I have a little sister. She's a year younger than I am. And she got hers the month right after I got mine. She's only 13.
I'm only 9, so I haven't gotten mine yet.
Sure, you can get it at 9. But most people begin around 12, 13, 14.
I'm 13, I haven't gotten mine yet.
Well, whenever it happens, it's the right time for you and you alone. We're all different. Look at us. We're all individuals. But sooner or later, we're all going to share the experience of menstruation.
Menstruation is a continuous, ongoing process. The average menstrual cycle takes about 1 month to complete, and then it repeats itself over and over for years to come. The only signs you'll visibly notice will be the days that you have your period, when the menstrual flow is leaving your body. Don't be alarmed if you don't get your period every 28 days when you first begin to menstruate. It often takes several years to develop the timetable that's right for your individual body. The average number of days a period or menstrual flow lasts can also vary and change.
Some people it only lasts for 3 days, some people 5. Everybody's different. Well, they say when you first start getting your period regularly every month to make up a calendar like this.
Usually I get it at the same time.
And all my friends, most of my friends have gotten their period already. And I'm one of the oldest kids in my grade. So I feel kind of weird, And no one's ever asked me it, but, like when they talk about it, I just, I feel kind of embarrassed sometimes.
One of the great things about being in the show is that we really became close friends. And it was easier to talk about stuff like this.
Yeah.
But I know in past generations, it was sort of a hush-hush deal.
Oh, yeah.
And therefore, you never knew about
It
it.
still is.
Well, my mom came to my rescue. I was afraid to ask her. She would think, I was afraid she would say, you're not old enough to know about it or something. But she came out and she told me about it. And that really, made me feel better.
Yeah, I first started mine in June during the week of finals, and I was staying with friends because both of my parents were back east. And these friends were adults, they were friends of my parents, and I didn't know who to talk to. So the first thing I did was pick up the phone and call my best friend.
Yeah.
And I just said, help me get through this. It was finals, and I thought it would be really uncomfortable, but it wasn't.
No, it's not.
It doesn't make that big a difference.
In school, the kids in my grade, they don't know really anything about it, but they talk about it like they do, and they learn it. They hang around with the 5th graders, and they'll talk about it, and they think they know everything because they've been hanging around with the 6th graders who have been hanging around with the 7th graders, and none of them really, I don't think, know what they're talking about. Yeah, they just know the words. They don't know what it really means.
Well, things get passed down, and a lot of them are untrue. Like, you're
My
going to have...
grandmother tells me not to wash my hair when I have it, but I do anyway.
You should wash
Do
it.
you ever
Yeah.
get moody? My mother tells me I get moody. I say, I'm not moody. She says, yes, you are. There are also myths that when you get your period, you're automatically going to have cramps, you're going to be cranky, you're going to have oily hair, which is not true because I don't get any of them. I don't get moody. I don't have cramps.
I get
and if
moody.
I do, I
That's one
exercise
thing,
and they disappear.
Yeah.
Which...
So exercise is good.
Oh, yeah. And it's different for everybody. Some people may get cramps and some people may not.
I always thought it was scary. My friend said that her older sister had one. She said that her older sister, when she had it, she said she thought she was dying or something. She thought she was like bleeding to death or something. Does it really make you feel weak if you lose blood?
Not really. You don't lose that much blood. You know what I mean? It looks like you're losing a lot of blood, but you're really not. And the one thing you should remember is, you should always, especially when you have your period, get a lot of sleep and, to keep your body fresh and to eat a good balanced diet.
Yeah, my mom, when I was 11, she sat the 3 of us down, 3 sisters, and she told me basically the facts of life. She said one of the most important things when you have your period is to eat right She said, don't go on bad diets, don't skip meals, don't just pig out on junk food or candy. Just eat right.
Can you still swim after you get your period?
Sure, there's a lot of feminine products out on the market, like tampons, that enable you to swim and do anything like you normally would. You don't have to change your schedule when you have your period.
That's true.
Girls have a million questions about menstruation. There's a booklet called Growing Up and Liking It, which has a lot of answers. Like, for instance, what happens to the menstrual flow when it leaves the body?
Menstrual protection products are designed just for that. If you go to your grocery store or your drugstore, you'll probably see a display something like this. As you can see, you certainly have a lot of choices. Many girls and women use more than one type of product throughout their cycles. Some use only one type. Only you will be the best judge of what your needs are. The first thing that you need to know is that there are two basic types of menstrual products. One type is a pad, which you press into your panties, and the other is called a tampon, which you insert inside your vagina. Both pads and tampons provide protection by absorbing your menstrual flow. And whichever type you choose, no one will ever know you're having your period, unless, of course, you tell them. Let's take a look at the various types of pads. Sanitary pads can be divided into two categories. There's one type for full period protection and another type for light protection. The full-size category offers you the most protection and security during your period. This category includes maxi pads for thick pad protection, maxi shields for thinner and more comfortable protection, shaped maxis for a comfortable fit. The other category provides light protection for the days when your period is tapering off as a backup to a tampon, or for those in-between period days when you may experience wetness or a slight discharge. This category includes panty shields and breathable panty liners that allow air to circulate throughout the pad. For those days when your period is light, yet you want a thicker pad protection, try a mini pad. All varieties of these products are designed to keep you comfortable and worry-free. They're easy to use, too. Wash your hands first. Then pull off the adhesive-backed peel strip and press the pad firmly into the inside of your panties. Once you've used a pad and it's time to change it, remove the pad from your panties, wrap it in toilet paper, and place it in the wastebasket. Don't flush it down the toilet. No one can tell you exactly when it's time to change, but generally, every 3 to 4 hours is sufficient. However, your individual needs may require a slightly different timetable. You'll want to feel clean and comfortable during your period. It's a good idea to bathe daily, to wash your hair, and to follow all your usual rules for good hygiene. Since there are so many different kinds of feminine protection products, it's important to find out about them before you begin to menstruate. You can send for a starter sampler kit like this one, so you can examine some of the available products, become familiar with them, and decide which ones might be best for you. This booklet, Growing Up and Liking It, will tell you how to order a starter kit and will help you understand more about what happens during menstruation and puberty. Your teacher, school nurse, or leader of your girls' organization will tell you where to write to get your own copy of Growing Up and Liking It.
I'm always in dance class and I'm always swimming and all. And, should I use tampons and is it okay to use them?
Yeah, because so much is said about toxic shock, and it's, how dangerous it is, and it makes me cautious to ever use them, and I'm wondering, is it really safe or not safe?
Toxic shock syndrome is a rare disease that was found to be associated with tampon use during menstruation. Although the incidence of toxic shock syndrome is very low, it's important to be well informed about it, especially if you choose to use tampons. Ask your mother, your teacher, school nurse, or your doctor about tampons and TSS before using them. Also, the booklet, Growing Up and Liking It, contains information on the subject. Tampons are designed to absorb menstrual fluid. There are two types of tampons, and both are inserted inside the vagina. One comes with an applicator to help you insert it, like this one. The other kind doesn't need an applicator. It's inserted with your finger. Tampons are convenient, comfortable, and give you the freedom to participate in any activity or sporting event, including swimming. However, a tampon should usually be used only during menstruation.
Well, the first time I got my period, I thought I'd have to change my whole life. I was like, oh, my whole life is ruined. I can't really do anything. I have to sit in my home the whole time. Really, nothing has changed. I mean, it just fits in with your everyday schedule.
Yes, now I don't even think about it anymore. It's just like part of me.
Well, it's kind of like anything in life, you know. Each time you're reaching for a goal or you're going, you know, for a reward, there's always some kind of inconvenience to get the reward. And like the inconvenience sometimes is your period, and the reward is, like you said, you know, you can give birth and you can have children, and it's like.
And it's one of the big steps to becoming an adult.
Yeah, and a woman. It's worth it.
I haven't had my period yet, but I don't think it'll be that big a problem.
It won't be.
It won't.